the Business Finance Podcast, brought to you by the Best Finance Group. New episodes every Friday. Hello and welcome to the Business Finance Podcast. He's Jack Seymour.
He's Phil Murphy.
Yes, we're back. We were away last week. We were recovering from Cheltenham.
Yes.
And my bank balance is recovering. I could do with some funding myself. All losers, didn't have one winner on the whole day. But it was great. We were sponsored. So our day was sponsored by our good friend Graham Woodhall at Navuna Business Cash Flow. So thank you, Graham. Good day was had by all.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it was. It's always a cracking day, isn't it?
It's fantastic. The Raw when they come round on the final furlong, absolutely fantastic. So so we were sort of a little bit sore the next day, weren't we? So we thought we'll give that one a skip. But we're back, and today is our Q&A special.
Yeah.
So we've had we're constantly getting inquiries every day. So we thought we'd pick out some different inquiries from potential clients and then just go through the solutions and what we've suggested. We thought that might be a good learning experience for some of our viewers who might be in the same situation. Okay, Jack, over to you. You've got the first question there.
Yeah, so starting off, I'm looking to buy some machinery to support a new contract. However, we won't see any revenue for a few months. So how can I acquire the asset whilst paying as little as upfront? So
this is quite common, isn't it? So someone's won a new contract, they need a new piece of machinery, typically to fund the contract, but they're not going to see any revenue for a few months, could be 3, 4, 5 months. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, yes, you need the new equipment, but you don't want to leave yourself short. In this particular instance, we're looking at obviously asset finance. We've gone through a range of options from a zero deposit to 10% deposit, 20% deposit plus VAT. But we've also looked at a VAT deferral.
Nice.
So there's a zero deposit. VAT is deferred for 3 months.
Right.
So they'll just start their monthly payments. This one is over, it's going to be over probably 60 months. So they'll just have 60 monthly payments. The third payment will be higher because that's the VAT that needs to be paid.
So just so I'm clear, and probably for the viewers as well, so they just put down a small deposit with no VAT?
Well, actually, there's no deposit on this. So the way they've worked is, so there's no deposit. We'll just start your 60 monthly payments from day one. On this case, I think it's about £4,000. Yeah. So, it's just straight away. Your first payment is £4,000. So there's no deposit as such. It's just the payments start straight away.
Superb.
So, so VAT deferred, zero deposit. So that's the best way to get the machine up and running, get the work going, raise your invoices, get your revenue, and then then the VAT's paid then in 3 months.
The power of asset finance.
Yes, it is. So that's that one. So the next one, Jack. I have an engineering company that I've run for 25 years, and I'd like to sell my company shares to my son and the general manager. What's the best way to structure the deal?
Absolutely, yeah. So I had this inquiry in this week, and as you say, it was an engineering company based just south of the Midlands. Company was well established in the engineering sector. The father and his wife were looking to retire, and the son and the general manager had running the business successfully for the past 4 years, so they wanted that succession. They were unsure how to do it. They previously used a broker and had no success. So they were referred to myself, who specialises in acquisitions, and this was a management buyout. Yeah. So what I did, I asked for the financials, I looked at the business, and quite simply got a unsecured loan over a 5-year period with no early repayment fees for the full 400,000.
That's fantastic.
And moreover, what we actually did was, because they'd previously gone to a broker which was unsuccessful, we found out that previous broker hadn't proposed the deal in the most beneficial light to the lender, hence why it was declined. But because we got exclusivity with that client, we managed to replace it with that lender and get the desired outcome. So they were really, really happy. It's looking to complete before the 5th of April. So fingers crossed, guys, if you're watching this. There's no doubt a lot more that we can do with that client post-acquisition to help them on that growth journey, because now the young blood is coming, they are looking to grow.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think you mentioned the way the deal was proposed would have meant that the director that's selling the shares would have had a personal guarantee.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Which he didn't want because he's moving away from the business.
He's moving away, yeah, absolutely. So because that previous broker had proposed it not in the best light, the lender wanted, as you said, a personal guarantee from the exiting shareholder, which of course he didn't want to provide.
Yeah.
So, which didn't quite sound right. So that's why we rejiggled things, had a conversation with the credit and underwriter, and allowed the security to be on the new people coming in, and a couple of conditions which the lawyers are happy to satisfy prior to acquisition to allow that transaction to happen. So all in all, I suppose if you are looking to sell your business through a management buyout, because you've got a management team in place, or to external parties, so you're just looking to sell, we can facilitate that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad you had a good outcome and hope it all goes through nicely. Okay, next one.
So to the next question, which I'm going to run through now. So I have won a contract to supply an engineering software to a college based in America.
Right.
How can I get an advance on my revenue and protect myself against the bad debts and non-payments?
That's interesting. Well, it's difficult enough sometimes getting paid from companies within the UK. I mean, we all know there's a lot of that around, so it can be difficult getting payment. So if you suddenly want a large contract outside of the UK and they don't pay, what you're going to do, get on a plane and go and knock the door and camp outside the client's office? It's not going to happen, is it? So that is a concern. So in this particular case, our client he's developed this software that he's selling to universities, and there's a bit of marketing in there as well. So it's an overall sort of product, learning product, which is really, really good. So the contract is with the college in America, and it's funded by the US government.
Okay.
And it's basically about £1 million per contract, which could be over 12 months.
Yeah.
So what we've suggested is single invoice finance.
Yeah.
So that means as soon as he raises that invoice, he should be able to get about 80% advanced, the other 20% paid once the client has settled the invoice.
Yeah.
Includes bad debt protection. So
Brilliant.
if the debt does go bad, he's covered. That will write off the advance that he's already had. And you're looking at about, I would say for something of that size, it's going to be somewhere between 1.25% to 1.75%, maybe somewhere around in the middle.
Yeah.
So at least this way, he can start doing the work, and as soon as he raises that invoice, he's got 80% of that up front.
Yeah.
Now, what sometimes with this sort of blend of sort of marketing, what you always have to be careful of is if people are on retainers.
Okay.
So that's why he's structured it as a way so he is billing at the end of every month for services provided, and that's factorable.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done. So that's what we've suggested, and that's going through hopefully at the moment.
Superb. Yeah. So that's allowed him to fulfil the contract, protect against the bad debts in America.
Yeah,
so from a UK entity billing America.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So the funder will do all their checks. It just takes a little bit longer. If you do a check on a UK company to see what credit limit you can get against them, it's usually the same day, next day. Internationally, it can take 2 or 3 days. So yeah, but they can do a full credit search and
Superb.
get the credit limit. So yeah, so that's that one.
Lovely.
Okay, next question. Jack, I've just bought a property at auction, but I need to complete within 5 weeks. What's the best way to fund this deal?
Absolutely, yeah. So properties in auction, any property developers or potentially first-time buyers, people that are looking to pick up bargain, often will buy property in auction. And a real limiting factor is you have to put down a percentage to win that bid in auction. So 10, 20, 30, whatever the value of the property is to secure it. But the auction house then has a predetermined time frame, such as 5 weeks, commonly 4 to 6 weeks, in which they have to complete by.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not going to be able to get, or it's highly unlikely you're going to be able to get a commercial mortgage or residential mortgage or, a long-term finance solution. So this is where a bridging loan really comes into its own.
Yeah.
So what we did for this particular client was they bought a property, commercial property, in auction, had to complete in 5 weeks, and it was next to a railway line. So there was a few complications with it.
Yeah.
So we knew that it was going to be more difficult to get a commercial mortgage on there. So what we did, we got a bridging loan. It completed within just over 3 weeks.
Brilliant.
That allowed them on an interest-only basis. So they just serviced the interest for the time that they have this bridging loan. And we've now successfully got the commercial mortgage offers through.
Brilliant.
So that sum total from start to finish, he's only paid 2 months worth of interest on a bridging loan, which has meant that it's really cost effective, secured the property at under market value rate because he got it at auction.
Brilliant.
And away he goes. So yeah, it's a real success story for a bridging loan, and one of the very, the ideal situations if you are looking to buy a property in auction. Bridging loans are your way forward.
Yeah, fantastic. And got commercial mortgage sorted as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And the last question.
Yeah, so here we are on the very final one. We have won a contract with a government in Eastern Europe, but we only get paid at the end of the year when we receive EU funding. Can we have a credit line or some form of funding to help with cash flow?
Yeah, so this company is providing various services to the government in Eastern Europe. That's various government departments. But that company gets EU funding, so they pay these contracts, these suppliers, at the end of every year. So it's a great contract, but yeah, there is that, there's a big stretch where it gets a bit tight. So they were initially looking at perhaps getting a loan.
Okay.
But because this is going to be probably an ongoing thing, we thought, we'll can quote for a loan, that's fine, but maybe a revolving credit facility is going to be a better solution here. So you have a pot of money, maybe £500,000, £1 million, and you can just dip into that as and when you need it. So those months, those 4 or 5 months, you've got access to that funding and you're just paying interest on the funds that you use. There is a small service fee to have it in place, like you would for an overdraft or invoice finance facility, but it's minimal. So you've got access to that money, you can draw down as and when, you don't have to reapply, it's just there for the next 12 months. So that's what we've proposed. So that's the way we go forward on that one, I think.
Yeah, you're in case you need product. Brilliant. Revolving credits.
Yeah, so that's not too bad, is it? So we've covered invoice finance internationally, we've covered loans for acquisitions, covered revolving credit facilities and a bridging loan.
Yeah, absolutely.
A week in the life of commercial finance brokers.
And don't forget your asset finance as well on your VAT.
And the asset finance, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great, isn't it? You just don't know what's going to come through, but luckily we've all got each other to bounce off, and we're all very experienced, and we've all got our strengths, and we've got a fantastic panel of lenders as members of the NECFB. We've got the whole of the market for all these different products. So you can go it alone if you like, but if you want some expert guidance, give us a call, get in touch. We'll be happy to help and just give you some options, and hopefully it'll make it easy for you and you'll secure the best rates. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you're watching or listening from. We appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining us. If you have any commercial finance requirements, please contact us at thebestgroup.co.uk.